reason I pick Bruno Guimaraes is because of the goal threat and final third ability. In central midfield, Enzo is perhaps a slight cut above, but once you advance to the final third, Bruno Guimaraes is very, very more effective than Enzo in terms of the final pass, in terms of the shots, being able to score goals, being able to be a real goal threat. That's where he slightly edges it for me.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. And on a personal note, I want to thank God for the year. It's been a good, productive year.
Yes, yes.
If not that,
yes.
We are alive and we're making progress.
Truth.
Transit TV, welcome to Reggie Football Show. Welcome back again. We're here today to look at the games for the weekend. Premier League, of course, was on vacation for 2 weeks for international break. Teams qualifying for Euros, qualifying for World Cup, African Nations Cup, Asian Federation Cup, and Copa de Calibaros, or what they call it in the South American nations. Yesterday, one of the games I managed to watch, I think I saw France play Greece. It ended on 2-2 draw. Oh. Then the match of the year for me was Argentina traveling away to Brazil, Maracanã Stadium. It was like World War II. 30 minutes into that game, there was a fiasco within the fans. The game had to be delayed for, I think, about 30 minutes and started, and the fight continued on the field. For the first 35 minutes, it was worse than Newcastle against Arsenal 3 weeks ago. Of course, there are a lot of Newcastle players involved too. Joelinton, Bruno Guimaraes for Brazil. Then when you have a combination of that and Romero of Tottenham for Argentina, and Enzo Chelsea was there as well. Gabriel Jesus, we know, the very physical player as well. So it was, in fact, that game. Then you have Otamendi behind for Argentina, and where do you want to start from? So it was just a combination of or show of area of stars. It was a very, very good game, technically and physically. I enjoyed it, and eventually Argentina ran away with a 1-goal win scored by Otamendi, very powerful header from the corner kick. And for the most part, really? Brazil, the game was played mostly.
How did he head the ball? Otamendi, how did he head the ball?
He lifted ahead of Bruno Guimaraes and Gabriel Magalhaes. Magalhaes wasn't really marking him, but he's trying to come to cover up. And I think what happened was that he lifted way ahead of them. So Bruno couldn't jump. By the time he was about to jump, Otamendi was already in the air. And where he placed the ball, there is no way Alisson can get there. And it was scored at a very, very crucial period of the game. I think on the 75th minute, it was difficult for Brazil to do anything. They tried. Joelinton came in as a sub in less than 5 minutes. He got a red card, though we'll talk about VAR. Of course, there was no VAR in that game. The referee really messed the game up with that red card. There was never a red card, So that's how that one panned out yesterday. That's one of the few games I watched. Yeah, so guys, we are about to look at the games for the EPL. We have 3 huge games this weekend that's going to impact the table. Of course, you have Liverpool playing in England. It's going to be lunch hour, but for us in the United States, yeah, 5:30 a.m. in the morning against Mancity. And Liverpool is traveling to City. Then, of course, Tottenham will be at home to Aston Villa. Then Chelsea traveling to Newcastle. These are 3 huge games for the weekend, massive games. Of course, we're not really going to talk about Arsenal games today. These games are much bigger than what Arsenal is doing this weekend, playing against
Brentford.
Brentford. good game as well. But we're going to look at these 3 games. And this one's obviously is really going to be heavy. We're going to start with Tottenham at home to Aston Villa. When I was looking at these games, of course, these 2 teams are almost almost evenly poised. Aston Villa is 5th on the table, while Tottenham is 4th. And in the last 5 games, their SG, of course, Aston Villa has 2.4 SG, while Tottenham has 2.0. No, overall, they have 2.4 and 2.0, but the last 5 games, Tottenham's SG has dropped to 1.4, while Aston Villa is 2.4. And in terms of goals conceded, Tottenham has conceded an average of 1.3 per game. Aston is 1.4. But in the last 5 games, Aston Villa has conceded 1.2 goals per game, while Tottenham has gone up to 1.4. So if you look at this, in terms of current form, it looks like Aston Villa is the team in a better form coming into this one. They're really flying and winning games. Tottenham, of course, they lost their unbeaten run into the season, 2 games behind, and they have now lost 2 games on the bounce. So Tottenham is a team that is struggling with form now in confidence. They have suspensions, they have injury to key players, and that's going to be carried on to this game this weekend. So we're going to look at this game and see what we think is going to happen. Ugum, what's your overall thought about this one?
All right, thanks, Reggie. Reggie is in mid-season form. When you're in mid-season form, you hardly warm up, and you forget to warm up sometimes. So welcome to Transit TV. For those of you joining us for the first time, I will represent our host today by welcoming you to the channel. He went right into action without warm-up.
No, I did. Well, maybe you're not paying attention though.
Did you introduce any of us? Chioma, did anybody introduce you? Okay.
No.
So what's a warm up
for...
without stretching your groin and stretching your
right,
back? And,
right.
right.
Thank you for looking out for a brother, bro. I appreciate that.
yeah. So everybody welcome. My name is Sugum. We have Chioma as well, and Reggie is our host. And so we'll dive right into the activity for today. Yeah, talking about Tottenham playing against Aston Villa. As you said, it looks obviously like Villa are the form team compared to Tottenham. So this game is going to be quite a good one. The lineup for this weekend is quite tasty, considering all the drama that happened before the international break. And it was a pretty dramatic international break as well, with many countries playing and talking points from refereeing decisions and all that, as well as stuff happening in the back room with Everton and some other clubs.
Yeah,
and Tottenham also recently
dragged into it, exactly. Chelsea
yes.
and the Mancity.
Yes. So it's going to be quite interesting this weekend. We're looking forward to a good game. What I wonder is the state of the Tottenham squad in terms of health, in terms of fitness for the players that they lost prior to the international break. I know quite a few of them got injured. And then they lost 1 or 2 also to red cards. And those guys, the likes of Udogie, I think Udogie got 2 yellows or 1 red.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back for this game, but he's now injured.
Okay, yeah. So
yes,
it's going to be an issue for them. Injuries are definitely going to affect Tottenham playing. But I was quite impressed. Tottenham, this guy has done a good job. Now it's a matter of the backups being able to at least give an effort enough to fill the gap for the starters. That remains to be seen whether they can do that. Aston Villa, on the other hand, are pretty decently healthy, I believe. Most of their squad. I saw a picture, a video of Musa Diaby already back warming up. He's in great form.
And he played for France too. Yeah, I saw him against Greece.
Yeah, really good player. So his combination with Watkins is going to give the likes of Davies and Dyer they're going to give them a hell of a game on Saturday. And so for this, I look forward to a testy game. I think Unai Emery and his squad, they will probably give Tottenham a run for their money and probably may win this game. Most likely will win this game. I tip them to win because of the form that they are in and because Unai Emery is always a tactical man. He knows what to do to get the best out of his squad.
Okay, Chioma, before I go to you, let me run you guys and our viewers the possible absentees that are going to be for Tottenham to let you know, it looks like this one they don't have a chance, though this is football, anything can happen. Tottenham is going to miss Van der Beek. They're going to miss Romero through suspension. Van der Beek is injured. Udogie is injured right now. He was suspended before. Then Pasuma here is also going to miss the game because he has 5 yellow cards. He's got yellow card in the last game that they played. So he's going to be missing as well. And Madison is injured. He's going to be missing as well. So these are 5 key players. And if you look at these names, these are the almost new names that joined Tottenham that has lifted the team to what they have done the beginning of this season. Apart from Romero, all these other names I've mentioned, you're not part of Tottenham. So that tells you that back to where they used to be. And unfortunately, the coach they have is anti-Conte, anti-Mourinho, anti-Nuno, the Espirito Santo. So these other players that are going to be left now are used to the sit back and counter-attack approach. So it remains to be seen what Ange is going to do with Dyer. According to Nemi, you have Dyer in a dire situation. And so yeah, Chioma, I don't know what I haven't heard this list. What do you think? How do you see this one panning up?
I mean, I think Ugum just took it right out of my mouth. It's definitely going to be a good evening with Aston Villa because they're going to deal with Tottenham. Seriously, as far as I'm concerned. Not only are these guys running after each other like back to back. At this time, Aston Villa, I tip them to be more ready, more prepared. They have all their guys when they need them. I don't think there's any distability.
I don't think they have any absentee.
They are stable. Of course, Luna is my guy, Some may say that it didn't work out between Arsenal and I because of some, language barrier, but I don't agree. He's a tactical coach, manager. He's great. He's good at what he does. And if there's anything he's going to do, he's going to make sure he gives Watkins 10 cups of sugar and the likes of, what's the guy on the wings now?
Yeah, Diaby.
Yeah, so we already can see. He knows he has the guy, and Angie Ball doesn't have his voice.
His men, yeah.
He doesn't have his men, so he's going to have to fall back on the guys that he has. And I mean, Son will do all the work. The likes of Richarlison, they are nowhere to be seen at this point in time.
Yeah, surprisingly, Jesus coming back from injury still managed to bench Richarlison in the national team. He didn't even see a minute in the game yesterday. So that tells you where he is.
Yeah, I saw that. So for me, it's easy. It's an easy game. It's not one of those games that you expect. Well, you can expect a surprise, but I won't be expecting any surprise.
Okay, so let's look at the key battles in this game. Though it would have been interesting if Tottenham had anything near, full squad. It would have been more interesting to look at these battles. But then let's look at it. Now it looks like Dyer is going to be left with, they have the battle with Watkins, like you mentioned. Only Watkins had a look in for national team assignment over the break. I think he played one of the games for England. So I'm sure that would have given him some confidence. And I don't know Chioma, who do you think is going to come on top of this one? And I can even add Derby there because Aston Villa plays derby somehow, it comes in a little bit inverted.
He's a forward.
Yeah, he plays like he plays close to Watkins. He doesn't play much on the wing, so which means they're gonna have double striker on this one. And if I am to be Unai, of course, I'll even this is even an opportunity to do more of that, because Tottenham is going to be light in that position. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think is a chance for Derby to increase his tally and get a tune out of this one?
Yeah, of course. I mean, seeing that Angie is low on supply, I think it's time for Diaby to be the player that he needs to be. With Watkins, whatever they have to do, they need to get some goals that game, because it's going to be to their advantage. Then that means that everybody will have to start running away from good evening now, but
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, this is his time. This is his time to shine, because if he were playing with a full squad, Angie Ball, believe me, Diaby wouldn't even have an opportunity. But Watkins will always get an opportunity. Of course, we always see him run in front of the box. He's always in front of the box. He follows the ball. But if Angie had his full team, they will find a way to subdue Diaby.
Yeah. Then in the middle, of course, Sa and Bissouma have really formed some good partnership so far this season. Missing Bissouma in this one and having the Douglas Lewis on the other side. How do you think this one is going to pan out? I had Lewis had a brief stint for Brazil yesterday in the game against Argentina, though it wasn't particularly very impressive for me in my eye, but I mean, we know what he does in the EPL. How do you see this one? Who do you think is going to dominate in this battle?
I'm coming to terms with Douglas Lewis being a bit underrated. Maybe because of the profile of Aston Villa as compared to the big boys. I'm seeing more and more that the guy is quite a solid midfielder, right? He was actually signed by Manchester City. That's where he started in the EPL. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So that tells you a lot already. For him to have come from City, they have an eye for talent in that club. So he's a solid midfielder. I watched him for Brazil. I wasn't expecting him to do more than, the rest of the team. I thought everyone played really strongly. It was a very intense game. It wasn't really a game that allowed anybody show particularly their skill, not the least the GOAT himself. Lionel Messi was almost missing in the game. So you can imagine the mere mortals like Luis, what would you expect from them? So yeah, he is a strong technical midfielder, great on set pieces, able to pick a pass, able to shoot, and has added goal scoring even more this season to his game. So I see him playing really well against Tottenham. Sarr, again, is another young man that I rate. He's coming up in leaps and bounds, growing with every game in the EPL. Without Bissouma, he's going to be playing with Højbjerg. Maybe Højbjerg may give him a foundation for him to be more influential in the final third, depending on how he's deployed against Villa. But anyway, I look at it, I see the likes of John McGinn and Douglas Lewis and who else is in that midfield for Aston Villa. They are quite dominant. They are quite strong. They work extremely hard. And so I see them.
Yeah, Yuri Tillemans, I don't know how that guy has normally to even get a starting 11 for Aston Villa.
He's not starting any game for Aston Villa.
Yeah,
he needs to realize that.
And this is a player that Arsenal was linked to, and Arsenal fans
when he was in Leicester.
Yeah. Yeah, Nimi, welcome to the show. We are happy to see you. You're a little bit late today, bro. I hope all is well. Run around that show. I know I was thinking about it. Thanksgiving last minute.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I joined late, guys. Really sorry about it.
Yeah, I understand. I know, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. Probably you're doing late.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I say I understand. Probably you're doing your last minute Thanksgiving.
So, Reggie, I can't hear you, Reggie. What did you say?
I said we understand. Maybe you're running around for your family Thanksgiving last minute.
It's Thanksgiving time. Somebody got to go catch that wild turkey out in the bush.
That's right.
I don't know if I don't know if you did it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you did, but I had to go catch
I did mine
bee.
last week.
You caught yours last week?
Last week, yes. So.
It must be an Arsenal turkey, very skinny.
on time. No time to check time. I did it on time.
Yeah. Sorry about it.
Yeah, good to have you. But we're looking at three big games this weekend. Spurs hosting Aston Villa, City hosting Liverpool, and of course Chelsea at home away to Newcastle. So right now we're talking about Aston Villa, Spurs. Looking at the key battles in the midfield, of course, Sa is going to miss the partnership of Bissouma, which they have really done some big this season so far.
Yeah.
Probably he'll be replaced by, because Bissouma is suspended 5 yellow cards already in the season, so he's not going to play this weekend.
Yeah.
And up front for Spurs, of course, they're going to have just Song and Kulusevski. Madison is out injured, so I don't know if that would be they will pose any serious threat for Aston Villa defense, because I think the defense of Aston Villa has been doing well the last 5 games. They've conceded just 1.2 goals per game the last 5 games. So I think they're coming up to, good. So I don't know what you think about the Tottenham attack against the defense of Aston Villa.
And I think this is going to be a match that I'm going to be tuning into to watch, because God knows I love Unai Emery. He's a tactical coach. So I went into Arsenal, and why is Arsenal coming to my mind? I went into Aston Villa, and I saw what they've been doing. How the managers, the owners of the team, the 2 owners of the team, when they took charge in 2009, how they've been ruthless. Remember, in terms of sacking the coaches, the moment results aren't going well, you saw what happened with Gerrard, how they took him off. And what I found out was when Unai came into Aston Villa, they gave him the reins. The sporting director had to bring his own sporting director. And they go through the way they recruit their players is 2 ways. The manager got to like it. The manager can say, yes, I need this player. But the player, in terms of metrics, what Brentford does, the player has to meet that metrics before they sign that player. So I'm like, wow, they have transformed this team. Looking at Watkins, Watkins said something about his transformation. Before Unai Emery came, Watkins scored about 4 goals in 28 matches. Last season with Watkins, with Unai, he told him, you don't have to play behind, you don't have to play on the side of the field. Stop drifting to the side. Always be in the middle. And he even told, what's the center back's name? Minks. When they went to the Saudi Arabian trip, he told them, you don't even know the position, how to play center back. So this man has transformed Aston Villa, and that's why I rate them so high. I said they are going to finish 5th. In terms of that game, you got to watch out for McGinn. His role, he has been given more. If you observe last season and this season, McGinn has been told to hold the ball more. So he's not that run McGinn all the time, but now he's a more seasoned player. That man has changed the game. Pau Torres, he's brought in Pau Torres. He's brought the Italian guy. What's his name? The guy that was with AS Roma.
Yeah, that defense,
I've forgotten his name. The tall, who I'm talking, the tall, skinny dude.
Let me look at.
So those are guys that have changed Aston Villa. As for Spurs, we know, all of us, we did talk about Spurs here. The coach, 5-6 games, he was the toast of the English media. He was everything. And once that bubble burst, we know what happened. And him being stubborn. Unai Emery is not stubborn. He may say good evening every day, but he's not stubborn. He's a very, very astute coach that always adapts.
The guy talking about, was he Diego Carlos?
No, not Diego Carlos.
Diego Carlos is Brazil, yeah.
Diego Carlos is the defender he got from Sevilla. I'm talking about the Italian. There's an Italian tall midfielder. I've forgotten his name. He was with AS Roma, and Mourinho didn't want him, and he came over. Once I remember his name, he was part of the betting. He was part of the betting scandal in Italy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But long story short, this would be a good
Zaniolo. Is that Zaniolo?
Zaniolo, that's Chi baby said. Chioma said it right. Zaniolo, fantastic player.
Yeah, he looks sluggish, but the guy is technically sound.
He's good. These are two dynamic coaches, and I expect a dynamic game, and I expect Unai will be too flexible for Pasilogu. He will be too flexible. So I will be tipping Aston Villa for this game. Don't forget that midfield. They have Kamara there. That boy don't take nonsense. He will kick. He will kick the way he plays midfield. He reminds me of Claude Makaleli, the great Claude Makaleli. I'm saying the only thing about it is he's a little bit bigger, but he plays the midfield. And when you have someone like Douglas Luiz, who reminds me of a Frank Lampard, Michael Ballack kind of a player, although not as physical as them, but he's really good, really, really good. So that's going to be a good midfield dynamic. And I don't think Dyer, how sluggish he is. Let's remember, what's his name? The Belgium defender. It's not yet.
Yeah, Van der Beek.
So that means pathetic Dyer will be in a dire situation come tomorrow for that game. So I don't see any chance.
Dyer pathetic all of a sudden.
So I'm giving Aston Villa this game. There will be Spurs will be exposed, and Aston Villa will win this game. Yeah. I will predict at least a 3-1 victory for Aston Villa.
Yeah, well, on paper, looking at all the things we have discussed, of course, you're going to believe that Aston Villa will win the game. But of course, in EPL, we know that these things can sometimes spin on its own head. And Aston Villa this season have already been doing well away from home. So that's also another possibility. Tottenham, on the other hand, are somewhat strong at home. So that's also an advantage. The next thing we're supposed to talk about now is advantage they have over each other, which I think we've already touched base with. I'm highlighting, of course, in the aspect of Aston Villa, they have a fluid attacking process going on for them now with Derby and Oli Watkins combining very well in their games and producing goals. Then Tottenham on the other side, before the injuries, the Ange ball has come and showing some signs of withstanding pressure from teams. So it's only left to be seen how they're going to cope with their tier 2 or optional players for the team to cope with this one. And Aston Villa, of course, also has a higher SG, both on goals scored and goals conceded. For me, that's the advantage they have over Tottenham. So we look and see how this one is going to pan out. Uguma, are you going to make any predictions on this one?
I would say 2-1 Aston Villa.
Chioma, how about you?
I'll stick with the 2-1.
Well, I said 3-1. Watkins with 2 goals. I said 3-1.
Well, I always find it difficult to predict. I always, I sit on the fence a lot. But yeah, I give it to Aston Villa as well. But I don't know. My mind tells me what VAR has been doing lately, man. You can't really say. But Tottenham has been on the good side of VAR
Reggie,
all
move
season.
on. Reggie, move on.
All season. So no, it's not about
Reggie, move on.
Arsenal.
Reggie, if you want us to contribute money for therapy for you, we will do that. But
No,
you have
no,
to move
no.
on.
No, if
You have
it's
to move on, Reggie.
like I said, I told some of my friends we're talking about this in a group. You know that game, even before the game ended, I had moved on. I didn't feel the pain of that game at all. It's not even about Arsenal, it's generally the whole league. Every weekend you have one very sweet game that everybody should be happy about. All of a sudden, VAR will just step in and score 1 or 2 goals and become a talking point from a very, very good game. Yeah, but I believe that Aston Villa will win this one as well. Maybe 1-0 or 2-0. I don't see Spurs scoring any goals in this game. I don't see them scoring any goals. They are very lightweight going forward. And for me, because if Anibal decides to be true to his words and stay loyal to his pattern and still play the high lines, then he'll be too worried picking up balls from the net than going forward to score any goals. I don't think they will find a net in this one. Aston Villa will run away with this.
He will stick with the high line. You know, Greeks are always stubborn. He's a stubborn man.
If you try that with the pace of Diaby and the workings and ingenuity of Unai Emery, I don't think he will have 75 minutes like he did with Chelsea before he conceded the first goal. I don't think it's going to happen. I know they have a very good goalkeeper. The guy has kept them in so many games, but this one, if he tries it, it's not going to work. Like you said, Dyer in a dire situation cannot hold any water in this one. So we move to another big game of the weekend, Newcastle hosting Chelsea. This is another big battle, another big game. These two teams have not really lived up to expectation this season, especially Newcastle. Newcastle is a team that ended with a top 4 position last season, but this is been a little bit of hit and miss for them. Presently, they are 7th on the table, which is a little bit below par expectation for them this season. And we're going to look at their numbers. In overall for the season so far, Newcastle has a 2.3 SG as against Chelsea's 1.8. And goals conceded, they have a better defense as well. 1.1 goals to be considered against Chelsea's 1.3. But the last 5 games, they also look like a better team in form. They have 1.2 SG, while Chelsea is better on that one. Chelsea, of course, has scored, I think, 8 or 9 goals in 2 games. Chelsea has 2.4. Conceding, Newcastle is always better 1.2 as against Chelsea's 1.8. So looking at this, in the goal difference for the season, Newcastle has plus 14, while Chelsea has plus 5. The highest goal scorer is Wilson with 7 goals. Chelsea's, as against Jackson for Chelsea, 6 goals. Isak, of course, has 6 goals as well. So looking at this, you could say it's a game that Newcastle has to win or is theirs to lose. But of course, Chelsea has come good of late. The last 5 games, they've drawn 2, won 2, and lost 1. Newcastle, on the other hand, lost 2, won 2, and drew 1. So, of course, again, this one looks very, very evenly poised. Both two teams that are powerful in their approach to games. Chelsea, we have seen this season come to life when the big boys are in town. So I don't know. Let me start with you. What is your overall thought about this game?
Your last statement is key. Chelsea come to life when the big boys are in town. This season, that has been proven to be the case. So it's not going to be an exception. Chelsea are going to be up for it. Actually, I think they are in slightly better form coming in just before we left for the international break. So I see Chelsea coming out to play. I don't see any major injuries. I think from their last game or so, I think they'll be taking a fit squad, so to speak. compared to previous times when there were a whole lot of injuries. So Chelsea players have played for their national teams. They're in good form, and I believe they will bring their A game to play against Newcastle. Newcastle also were in decent form before the break, and I think they have a few players, a couple of players that got injured that are not yet back. Dan Barnes got injured, and I think there's somebody else there in their squad also that had an injury. So yeah.
But
Sorry?
Dambon is still not back.
No, he's not back. I think he's a bit of a medium to long-term injury.
Wow.
They said 3 months or
Back
so.
injury. He has a back injury.
Yeah, back injury. Yes.
They are thinking he's coming back in January.
Oh,
Yes.
Callum Wilson is also out. Isak is out.
Yeah, he's out.
Callum Wilson has a hamstring. Isak groin. Harvey Barnes injured. Oh,
yeah.
Dambon injured. Elliot Anderson. Jacob Murphy. Yeah, Murphy his shoulder.
Murphy's shoulder. Yeah, exactly. Murphy was the person I was trying to remember. Yeah, so they have a few.
Amiron has a hamstring as well.
Oh my goodness! Then
Longstaff is out. Steve Botman is out, and Tonali, of course, is out as well. So Newcastle have a whole lot of miss. On the other hand, Levi Colwill has a shoulder injury. Gusto has knee, and Fofana, of course, we know is out. Granit Chukwuemeka is out. Trevor Chalobah is out. Ben Chilwell is out, and Christopher Nkunku. So
those are long term.
Those are long term.
Those are Chelsea long term
absentees. Yeah, of course. So
relatively, Chelsea have a fitter squad.
Yes.
Than Newcastle. But even beyond that, Chelsea, like you said, when the big boys come calling or the stronger teams come calling, they are up for it. So they will be up for this game. I look forward to a very interesting game. It's going to be intense. Newcastle try to play physical, and I believe Chelsea would like to match them for physicality. And then I know if you see what happened with Ukraine and Modric was brought down to a stone cold penalty that the referee denied, and Italy ended up finishing ahead of Ukraine, in the Euro qualifying, and the Ukraine people were really, really aggrieved. So I don't know the state of mind of Modric coming into this game, but I think Modric always should be a key player for Chelsea because of his talent, because of his speed, and we know that speed kills if used, appropriately, effectively. So yeah, this game, I think that Chelsea will get a good result from this game. Most likely a win. At the worst case, a draw.
What's your take before we go into the battles? Having heard this long list of injuries for Newcastle.
Newcastle, yeah. Newcastle. Wouldn't this just be Chelsea digging at them and making a complete meal out of them, by the way? But this guy, what's his name? Isak and Amiron.
Isak is injured. Amiron is injured. From what I'm looking at right now, both of them are out.
But the date on the internet says 26th November. Okay. And the game is for 25th. No?
Yeah, I'm looking at I haven't they're injured.
So they're like
it's a 50-50
exactly
stuff.
Exactly. So if Isak is back, they might get it good with their way of hustling and bullying players, by the way. But for me, I think Chelsea has this one in. I think they can actually keep up. Hoping that Nkunku comes back. I mean, he should be back by now, Nimi, no? It should be back.
Yeah, I know he's doing some light training.
November. Yeah, so I mean, it's I feel December, that's too far. No, it should be this November.
No, he's back, but of course he can't play till next month. I think he has joined in light trainings and stuff.
And he will, good luck. It's just that I need him back so he can start counting his goals because he needs to score more than Jackson. But that's not what we're talking about. So on this note, I think Chelsea is more ready than Newcastle. Because, I mean, if they try to bully Chelsea, of course, Chelsea can actually handle their level of bullying. So that's what I think. So I'm actually tipping Chelsea to win them by more than 2 goals, by the way.
Yeah, the thing is, I was going to go into the key battles for this game, but having seen this long list of injuries, I think with what's left for Newcastle is going to be more of the midfield and, of course, the defense and attack of Chelsea. In the midfield, obviously, you're going to have Bruno Guimaraes and Joelinton, obviously, in the midfield, battling it out with Caicedo, Enzo, and Palmer, which is a continuation of what happened yesterday. Enzo was on the side of Argentina playing against Joelinton and Bruno Guimaraes. So they're going to continue that fight this weekend. Meaning, what do you think is going to happen in this one? The combination, the midfield combo of both sides is going to be a very key area to consider with regards to what happens, the outcome of this game.
Man, first of all, I think Chelsea has already won. I have 2 endorsements. Ugu give us an endorsement. Chioma give us an endorsement already. So we already win. We have already won this game. Another thing again is, as you stated, it's going to be a midfield battle. Whoever wins the midfield wins. Is going to win this game. But we keep forgetting that this is not going to be in Stamford Bridge. This is going to be in Tyneside. And we know the atmosphere. Most players will tell you going to Tyneside, it's like going to war.
Yeah, I was going to get there.
And those Geordies are not like when you go to boring stadiums where there's nothing, no life. These Geordies will come in and fight. Whoever forgets the 4-4 draw between Newcastle and Arsenal with Toyota goals. So Tyneside is going to be a critical factor. They are going to be the 12th man. All those players that are injured, they're going to be the 12th man. As I said, whoever wins that midfield, Guimaraes, Joelinton, what's the boy's name from Arsenal that went to Newcastle? Joe Willock and Longstaff.
No, Longstaff is out.
Longstaff is out, right?
Yeah, Longstaff is out.
Longstaff is out. Okay.
He's injured. I don't know if he's going to make it back before the game, but he's on the injury list.
Okay.
When?
So
now?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know he was out, but those 4 guys are going to be your key pillars. And for Chelsea, Caicedo coming back from Ecuador, Enzo going to fighting through traffic and fans in Brazil, and Gallagher. It will not be it will be a big, huge matchup. And not forgetting.
With the icing of Palmer on top of it as well.
And not forget, Chelsea hasn't forgotten what happened last season, what Newcastle did to us last season. So it's going to be a revengeful game. But this is where I say there's a but. Chelsea throughout this season has suffered or have had issues playing against teams that sit behind. Newcastle is a big team, but remember how they played Arsenal, their tactics. The coach sets them in a low block.
I was going to mention that. Once it comes to big games, they just sit back.
They sit back, right? So he puts them in a low block and he says, come beat me. Chelsea has struggled to play against teams that sit on the low block and say, come, they give us the opportunity to come attack. So I'm going to be looking at that, but I'm going to be praying. Michael Jackson just had his baby 2 days ago. So I'm hoping that will be another firing block for him to go score and dedicate that goal to his baby. But I think Chelsea has a slim chance. Why I say slim chance is 2 factors are going to be against Chelsea. The Tyneside, being a Tyneside, that atmosphere, it's a warlike atmosphere, as I said, and also the way Newcastle plays. Newcastle sits back again, and Chelsea this season has found it difficult. The games we have excelled in, Arsenal came out. Man City came out. Liverpool came out. Tottenham, they came out. We struggle against teams that sit back, West Ham.
for this game, I don't think Newcastle will sit back.
Newcastle
I can almost guarantee that they will not.
I completely agree with Nimi. I was going to say, I was going to you guys to figure. I want to go mention these two things that he mentioned. I remember when I said I was going to play Newcastle. Remember I said about the tight side stuff and where Newcastle as a club places away team fans. I've heard a lot of fans go to Newcastle and complain about the tiny place way up there where they hang the away fans, that their team won't even hear your support for them. So it takes away teams away, away from their fans, and those things are part of their way of winning games at home. And of course, like Nimi said, Newcastle is a team that a city that has only one team. There's no other team dragging fans with Newcastle in that city. So anytime they're playing, the city shuts down. Everybody is like a festival, like a carnival for them.
Oh,
Like Nini was saying. Yeah, so
here's my point.
And Ugu, just to add, remember, he's missing 65 to 70% of his first team players.
Going
As
forward.
a coach, you can't take Ugu to go replace Henry.
But Nini, another problem is that some of the players that are missing are the players that he uses for counter. So it's going to be interesting how he's going to do. The Amiron is out. Yeah.
Ready, irrespective of he uses them for counter or punching. As long as there are players, there are two key factors. As long as there are players replacing, he would like to be a little bit cautious.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. If you remember, I've always been protected with Eddie Howe. I say, why can't he have an identity? As you have come of age. Just be loyal to what you want to do. But each time, remember going to AC Milan, the same thing happened.
First 45 minutes. PSG.
First 45 minutes.
Against PSG, the same thing.
The same, even at home against PSG. Though they won 4-0. But in the same approach. I guess that's
here's my point. Here's where I beg to differ slightly.
Okay.
I agree to the point of tie side, number one. I also agree to the point of majority of the first team squad missing being a key factor, number two. But my point where I differ is this. How Eddie Howe plays against any opponent depends on what he thinks about the form of that opponent at that point. When Arsenal went to play Newcastle last season, he knew Arsenal were suffering mentally at that point. How did he play against Arsenal? Full throttle attack. Full throttle confident attack with their fans behind them. And they were able to subdue Arsenal. Physical, solid play, full throttle, and they won.
Did they win Arsenal last season? We beat them 1-0.
2-0. No, I mean
that was the season before.
The season before.
Yeah, last season we beat them 1-0.
Contrast it to when Arsenal was in form. You see, the guy I think.
But Chelsea is in form now.
No, not at the level of Arsenal. See the point. The point that this has nothing to do with I'm not trying to knock Chelsea or anything like that. I'm saying that at this point, Newcastle feel that they have a better team than Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah, it should be, of course, on paper. I agree with that. If everybody is fit, of course, you only take Newcastle, but
yes. So if they feel that way about you, and you come to their home, they're not going to sit back and allow you play. They're going to attack you because they feel they are better than you. That's my point, right?
Okay.
As opposed to they feel, okay, this is City. City, I have a better squad and they're in better form. We have to sit back and be cautious. But if Chelsea is coming, we believe that at the point Chelsea is now, that with the team we have, we can beat them. Then why do we have to sit back?
Okay.
We'll see.
Ugu, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Can you hear me? If you're a coach, coaches go through games, they watch film, right? Chelsea against West Ham. West Ham sat. Chelsea lost 3-1. Right? Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest sat. Nottingham Forest won 1-0. Chelsea against Aston Villa. Same thing happened. Chelsea won Aston Villa won 1-0. Chelsea against Liverpool, they came out. Toe-to-toe. Man City, they came out. Arsenal, they came out. I do think we're going to watch the game, but I can guarantee you 95% Eddie Howe we are going to come back this weekend and talk about the game.
I look forward to it.
Back.
That's why it's an interesting game.
That's why we're talking.
Forward to it. Let's see.
Yeah, I kind of lean towards Ugum. I don't see Newcastle coming out to play this game with all these players out.
I guess you're
leaning with me. You're leaning with me.
Yeah,
you're
leaning yes.
with me. You see, don't they play while you're leaning with me. Which one are you leaning with, Ugu?
No, you are saying Nimi. No, Nimi, yeah, of course. I lean with you. I believe the Newcastle are going to be cautious in this game. And like you rightly said, Eddie Howe already knows that Chelsea really sees opportunity to play expansive football with any team. And right now, they don't have the hustle and bustle of Wilson up front, the trickery of Isaac, and of course the Boston run from Army run on the wings. I don't know the tools that he has. The only thing he has going forward now, I'm looking at the options that they have, is just Joe Willock, and I don't even know the name of and then Anthony Gordon. Those are the two players that he has now in front that can really do anything. I don't think those players have what it takes in terms of weight to go toe-to-toe with Chelsea, except for maybe bragging rights at home. Probably what they will do is what they did to, I think, is here similar way. 45 minutes, they sit back, then second half, they come out to try to win the game. But overall play would be more of being cautious, defending their post, and try to nick one away from Chelsea. So let's end this one by looking at the kind of a combo of 11s for this game. If you are going to make a combined 11 for these two teams in this game, considering the players that are available, let's see how we are going to go. Nimi, you're going to lead us in this one. Here, Nuguma and Chioma. I'm not going to be part of it. I'm just going to take notes. So in goal, we have Nick Pope and Sanchez.
Pope.
You know, I'm a very fair man. If you observe, I'm a very, very fair man. Pope is better than that goalkeeper that always tries to barb his hair and line his goatee like Ugu is lining his own right now.
Ugu, we agree with them.
Just slightly though. Nick Pope, yes, is a better shot stopper. I think Sanchez is better with his feet, but not good enough. Although he's not really great with his feet, but he's better than Nick Pope. Nick Pope is terrible with his feet.
So we'll go right back. Chioma, I start with you. For Chelsea has Rhys James. They have I think Gusto is injured. Rhys James probably will start this game being injury-free.
Who do you think? Is it that child that should take? Let it be Livramento or be what?
No, Trippier is
Trippier against Rhys
James. It's not an easy one to call.
Trippier is an outsourced striker midfielder. We're talking right back that their sense is okay, doing the right back work in the ministry.
Let me if it's one of my friends, say let me bust your brain. It's not, James is just coming back from injury, and Trippier is one of the major reasons for anything Newcastle have achieved this season so far. He joins the attack and he defends and he motivates that team as well. So
I want to say something. We have just said something. Wait, let me give you my own analysis. We have just said how unstable and how injury list is longer on Newcastle side. So that means that Kieran Trippier is going to be too busy. They outsource him as a midfielder sometimes. He'll be running up and down. I don't know if you've noticed from the back. They will outsource him to be doing other things.
Yeah, you're right. As a matter of fact, I think against Arsenal, he ended up playing from the left side while the other boy played on the right.
No. He will play tomorrow's game. He will play left back. It will be Livramento and right back.
And James. Okay, so let's go with James and Livramento.
That is why I say that there is none other than Rhys. Rhys is the perfect guy for that position because don't give it to an outsourced midfielder. It will not happen.
No, it's no contest. Rhys James ahead of any
Man.
other person. I will even take Rhys James ahead of
The way we are
Trippier.
agreeing like this today, I'm really happy.
We
Ugu,
take it.
I'm not going to withdraw that support again. The way we are
We
agreeing.
take it.
Then we'll go to the center back. We have Paul Domet for Newcastle. We have Jerome Botman, Steve Botman. We have Fabian Sarr.
Botman is injured.
No, the partnership will be Shah and Lechelse's.
Yeah, and let's say the captain and the Botman. Then, of course, on Chelsea side, you have Thiago Silva, Disasi.
And Disasi.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So, Choma,
Excuse me.
Choma, pick your combo for that one.
Excuse me. How can you be talking about Shah and Thiago Silva? Please excuse me.
I don't know. Reggie is just doing his job.
No, I'm giving you the list of available players.
He's doing his job. Forgive him. He's doing his job. I understand.
Hey, now wow, Shah.
No, I'm giving you the list of the players available in that position. So you choose your combo. Yeah, I'm not going to do it one-on-one, just two. Pick your two. You have Botman, you have Lechelse and Shah. So Botman is injured, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you know who he has to be in Chelsea department. I'm sorry. It feels like we're giving Chelsea everything.
So who are you picking? Thiago Silva and who?
You know, say this is that boy where I know if you pronounce his name. He's not that he's not fine-tuned properly.
Yeah,
so I think Reg is asking combo. You can pick one person from each side.
Yeah.
You can pick two from each side, depending on what you want.
Okay, I'm taking Thiago and whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Okay. Ugum, what's your choice? I think
like
Thiago is a given.
Yeah,
sure.
I'll do Thiago and Shah.
Yeah. Sure, Nimi will do that as well.
I completely agree with my comrades.
Yeah. So then on the left back, we have Trippier against Colwill.
Trippier.
Nimi, are we agreed on this one?
Ben is still drinking syrup.
I agree with my comrades. I'll take Trippier.
Nice one, Nimi.
Yeah, then we'll have the midfield of three. The sixth position, we have Caicedo for Chelsea, while for Newcastle, of course, we either use Joe Linton or
I think it's
Bruno Guimaraes.
Bruno Guimaraes. I don't know if he will play tomorrow.
This is interesting.
I think he will play, but he left
this is
the
where
game.
the battle begins.
The game yesterday.
Get red card.
The game
red card.
The game yesterday, he was sore because he was limping. He had a little knock. I don't know how serious that, but let's assume he's going to be available. So, Nibi, let me start with you on this one. Bruno Guimaraes.
Why do you want to start with me on this one? Why not start with my comrade? Let's start with Ugu. For the sake of fairness, let's go southeast. Let's go into southeast first. So Ugu, let's start with you.
Okay. I don't mind, Nimi. I don't mind. It's actually a very, very close call. I think the margins are, you won't even find the margins. It's just like VAR, so by just a slightest margin, I'll take Bruno Guimaraes.
But there's another way to do it as well. The way Chelsea plays, or even Newcastle, they kind of drop Enzo a little bit close to Caicedo and allow Gallagher space off front. You can as well pick Caicedo and Bruno Guimaraes if you wish so. If you guys wish so, and drop Enzo for this game. That's another way to do it if you want to.
The only reason I pick Bruno Guimaraes is because of the goal threat and final third ability. In central midfield, Enzo is perhaps a slight cut above, but once you advance to the final third, Bruno Guimaraes is very, very more effective than Enzo in terms of the final pass, in terms of the shots, being able to score goals, being able to be a real goal threat. That's where he slightly edges it for me.
So are we doing Bruno Guimaraes against Caicedo, or are moving Guimaraes? Okay, let's do something. After we can now rearrange the team. If you are giving Bruno Guimaraes as a 6 against Caicedo right now, who would you pick?
Right now, I'll still pick Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah, I believe I'll take Bruno Guimaraes myself, because it looks like we have not seen the Caicedo that we saw in Brighton yet.
Yeah, Caicedo he's still warming up.
He's still trying to come up. Not that Bruno Guimaraes is
Okay.
but so far he hasn't really been at the level we know he can be.
He's still warming up. Yeah.
Yeah. Chioma, so what's your take in this one?
Bruno?
Yeah, Bruno and Caicedo.
Of course. Of course, we all agree together, Bruno now. But I hope he doesn't get a red card in this game.
Mimi, are you still agreeing, or you're traveling to Northwest?
My comrades have put me in a very tight situation. Well, if you're looking at this season, I think Guimaraes is more influential for that Newcastle team. With Caicedo right now, Caicedo hasn't hit the pinnacle yet. With Caicedo, you could bring in Enzo, Gallagher, or you could put an Ugochukwu there, and he will do the job. But with Guimaraes, if you take Guimaraes out of that Liverpool team, that Newcastle team, you don't have a midfielder. So based on that, I stand with my comrades. I'll put Guimaraes in that 6.
Okay, so in that midfield, we have a midfield of 3. We have Bruno Guimaraes at 6. We have 2 players plugging left and right. On one side for Chelsea, there is a Gallagher. On the other side, there is Enzo. For Newcastle, we have Joelinton and I don't know, he used to be Longstaff or one other guy. Let me see, I can't remember his name now. Of course, Tonali has been suspended. He used to play as well. So let's pick our combo. Nimi. So we have 4 players: Enzo, Gallagher, Joelinton, and I think for Newcastle going into this game they have Joe Willock. So what's everybody make your choice?
I think this one will be straightforward. I will go with, based on current form, I'll go with Gallagher, and I will go with Joelinton.
What about you?
Wow. Like, Mimi, you're very special. Like, I like your kind of Chelsea fan. Do you realize that some Chelsea fans do not value Connor? Like, they think he's just a piece of nothing.
Those are people that don't know. Those are people that don't know soccer. They don't see what it was. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, if he's not, I mean, Southgate likes him. So, that's not the question. I think I'll go with what Mimi went with.
Oguma, you agree with comrades?
Partially, I will go with Gallagher and Enzo. Okay. I do not like Joelinton for anything.
Yeah.
I think the guy is more of a fighter and a kung fu champion than a footballer. He was better last season. This season he's not quite hit the levels he was last season.
Yeah, let me help you. Joelinton was a striker. He was he had a bump into the midfield. So apparently he's just using what Nini and we Nigerians will call gara to survive in the midfield. I don't think he has the technical nous to play in that role.
He doesn't. Okay. And Joe Willock is still.
He just came back from injury. He just came back recently. So
even if he was, he's not. He's not up to the level of Gallagher. Neither is he up to the level of Enzo.
But there's something that goes for Joe Willock. Technically, he might say yes, but he has an eye for goal. He contributes goals to games. Either he has assists or he scores goals. And that's something that Gallagher has not managed to add in his game, with Gallagher and Enzo. The Gallagher has 4 assists this season for Chelsea, but I don't think he has scored any goals. But Joe Willock hardly plays any 2 games for Newcastle without a goal contribution. So that's a policy that you cannot, also overlook, considering that Chelsea sometimes struggles with goals. So if you bring that together, you don't really count him out like that, if you ask me.
Well, fair point, but I'll take the Chelsea combo.
Okay, so both the 2 people voted Connor and Joelinton, so we'll leave it at that. We miss out on this one. Then the front 3, this is where it gets interesting. I think Chelsea will have upper hand here. All the front players for Newcastle are out. So you have Kopama, Jackson,
Raheem
Sterling. For Newcastle, there's nobody. Okay, it's only Gordon that is fit. So you guys make your choice.
Do we even need to make a choice with that one?
Comrades,
let's all do shalom with that and just move on.
If you ask me, I'll bring Gordon and play Kopama as a first man like Chelsea does in big games, then play Gordon on one side and Raheem Sterling on the other side. I don't really trust Jackson to.
I don't think Reggie heard what I said. I said, what do you call him? Michael Jackson just had a baby. So tomorrow's on the weekend's game, he wants to dedicate a goal. He wants to do the love sign. You see that love sign? He has a baby. Yeah, he just had a baby 2 days ago. Okay. So he wants to celebrate. So let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's give Michael Jackson.
Yeah, the thing is that if you go on current form, all these players, both Gordon, Jackson, Sterling, Kopama, they're all on form. So it's difficult to leave either of them, but I'll still give Newcastle one spot. So maybe you choose who you want to drop in Chelsea. Kopama has been doing bits, creating chances and scoring penalties for Chelsea in big games. Raheem Sterling has discovered his form.
Okay, let's agree to disagree. Let's take off Michael Jackson.
Maybe he has not had enough sleep because of father duties.
Maybe that's true too. I even think about that. Maybe he hasn't had enough sleep.
Uguma, are you with us on this one? Chioma, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'll put what's his name? Gordon, and just replace Jackson with Gordon. That's it.
It's very easy. Too easy.
Yeah, so we have Nick Pope in goal, James on the right back, Thiago Silva and Shah in the middle of the defense, and Trippier from the left side, Bruno Guimaraes as the 6, with flag with Conor Gallagher and Joelinton. Though that one was debatable, we can also replace Joelinton with Caicedo. Then up front, we have Raheem Sterling, Kopama, and Anthony Gordon. This is a very, very solid team that can win any match.
I will not play that team. Joelinton will not be in my team. Caicedo will be in my team. That's your team.
No, it's not me. This is the choice that Chioma and they advocated you. You have to
Chioma and Nimi. So you play Joelinton ahead of Caicedo in your team?
No. Remember, as a 6, we chose Guimaraes, and we said the other 2 to flank. Enzo is not in form right now. I would rather take Joelinton than Enzo right now, based on current form.
Yeah, they even stopped Enzo yesterday in the game against Brazil.
On current form. We're not talking about prestige now, Ugu. We're talking about current form.
That current form, Joelinton went in there and started boxing, and
I read your comments, so you know that wasn't a red card.
If you need therapy, let me know. Ugu, let me know. We'll give you therapy.
I just don't like the guy. Sorry.
Don't say you don't like the guy.
I just don't like. I admit, get your stars. I don't like the guy.
I know that red card yesterday wasn't a red card. The referee messed up. He really goofed in that game and messed the whole. I know Argentina was already leading, but he just ended it completely. Okay, guys, that's a good one. Our viewers, let us know your own choice in the comment section. What the combination for these 2 teams? If they were to form a team and go play against City, Arsenal, or Liverpool, or United, what would you your first 11 be. This is the one the panel has chosen. Pope, James, Thiago, Shah, Trippier, Bruno, Conor Gallagher, Jolinton, Raheem Sterling, Kopama, and Anthony Gordon. That's our choice for 11 combo for these two teams going to this weekend's game. And we'll end it at that. The biggest game of the weekend, City are home to Liverpool. Massive game, first against second for the week 13. This is going to be, I don't think any EPL fan would like to miss this one. These two teams are doing bits. Look at City coming to this one has 28 points against Liverpool's 27 in second. And Liverpool, we know, is only in second with 2 goals difference ahead of Arsenal, who is sitting on third. Of course, in terms of SG for the whole season, City has 2.7 with Liverpool 2.3. For the last 5 games, City have considered 1.0 SG this season against Liverpool 0.8, meaning that Liverpool has had a better defense than City. The last 5 games, City has won 4 and drawn, of course, the last one against Chelsea. On the other side, Liverpool has won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1. So in terms of form, I think City is better form. City has considered more goals this season, and their goal difference, of course, is also strong, and they have 20 goals against Liverpool's 17. Haaland has 13 goals to his name for City against Salah, who has 10 goals. Though Salah also is the highest assist contributor for Liverpool this season. I think he has, is it 4 or 5 assists? So he's been a key player for Liverpool so far this season. So these are the brief of the numbers for these two teams going into this one. Obviously, from what we have seen, it promises to be a very exciting game because these two teams are teams that attack ferociously, scoring goals for fun. They have a healthy goal standing numbers as well. They are not known for in any way sitting back. The only game that I've watched City play in a long time, not really attacking in full force, was against Arsenal this season, which they ended up losing 1-0. I don't think Pep is going to repeat that approach again in this one. He's going to go out on Liverpool. 2 coaches who respect each other, 2 teams who, bearing last season, have gone neck to neck against each other, trying to, be the heavyweights in the English football. So I don't know, having looked at these numbers and the pre-game informations, I don't know what you guys think about this one. Chioma, let me start with you on this one. What is your overall, how do you think this one is going to pan out? What approach do you think these teams are going to adopt, and who, what's your mind telling you?
I was just sitting down here and then I was thinking, this is that kind of game that you just be like, oh, it's going to be hot. We'll be sitting at the edge of our chairs, and then the 2 managers will just be too spooked to even know what to do with that kind of game. Yeah. We've seen, Man City, they've been just too easy. No disrespect. They are everything they say they are.
Play against, yeah.
But recently, they've just been acting too, they say permeable, like they're easily penetrated, like they're feeling the pressure, they're falling off by the sides, making some very rookie mistakes. We understand wear and tear and then a couple of injuries, but when has this ever been their problem? And Liverpool, you guys, remember Liverpool of last season now? It felt like they were struggling. No, not felt, they were struggling. They could barely breathe above water. All of a sudden, all their boys are back. Everybody's fit. They found a way to make the team work again. Everybody is where they are supposed to be. So what do I think about this game? I don't see a draw in this game. Some people say, oh, it's going to be a draw because, the 2 teams are in match. I think City will lose this game to Liverpool because my dearest Pep is going to overthink. he's gonna get spooked. Because
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Liverpool has 27 points going into this game against City's 28. You have a chance of going top of the league, if I'm not wrong, for the first time since the beginning of last season. And for me, this will be a very huge turnaround for Liverpool, considering what happened to them last season. For them to go top ahead of Arsenal, ahead of City, on the table. How do you see this one panning out?
Very, very strong. Like Chioma says, a very strong battle. Thinking about it, I can't even summarily call this game. I think that it's come at the right time. both sides are in good form. Few injuries here and there, but it will be like the good old Manchester City versus Liverpool 3 seasons ago battles, right? Where Jurgen Klopp always had Pep Guardiola's number.
Medication.
But I think things have kind of evolved. It's not going to be the way that Liverpool dominated City in the past, because I think that City, as a side, has evolved. City are a bit more pragmatic than they used to be in the early days of Pep. The way they play now is a bit different. They're not all gung-ho, all attack, and no defense. Yeah. So now they're a bit more balanced. Rodri is back. It's going to be a really, really good battle to watch. Fortunately, it's the first game of the weekend, and so we're going to sit back and really enjoy it. I would differ from Chioma and call this for City ever so slightly.
Nimi, are you there? Nimi. Yeah, looking at the game from my own perspective, like Ugum said, I kind of want to lean towards City because of the stakes involved in this game. That's one. Two, like Ugum said, Rodri is back, and City know that if they lose this game, it's going to be difficult for them to claim back the top spot on the league, because Arsenal is not smiling. Arsenal has relatively easier games in the next 2-3 games, and City still has, I think they're going to play 1 or 2 other tough games coming up in the coming weeks. So I see City trying to maximize 3 points in this one, though that's not going to decide what's going to happen. Though I'm not going to ignore the fact that Salah has been in hot form this season. I don't know, like we discussed the last time, if you remember, we are saying that City defenders don't like to defend one-on-one, and this is where Salah, thrives. They're going to try to isolate him, and whoever plays on the left side of the defense. He has been Guardiola in the last few games, and if they play him on that side in this game, I don't see him having a good day against Salah. So in all, it's going to be a very tricky one to call, like you guys said. Anything that wins the game is not going to be a surprise. What might surprise us is probably going to be if it's a wide goal margin. Either ways, of course, on the other side, Eden Haaland has scored a lot of goals, but we know that those goals came in few games. There are some games that he has not really even had a shot on target, so which is a minus for City. In fact, come to think about it, I think Liverpool has more what it takes to win this game than City. Darwin Núñez, Diaz, these firepowers up front are going to keep Rodri busy at the back to have time to contribute to what's going on in front. So it's going to really be a very tough game. And I don't know if you guys want to look at the key battle that we might have in this game. Of course, I've already identified Guardiola against Salah, or unless they decide to play Akonji on that side. He has played more in the midfield this season. So because of the absence of John Stone, Pep has played more of a flat four than what he did last season, allowing John Stones or one of the defenders to come into the midfield to support the midfield. Then of course we have Rodri and Silva going against Szoboszlai and McAllister. I don't know how you see that that one panning out.
Good matchups that you've mentioned. The Salah Guardiola one is interesting. I think that Salah may likely dominate Guardiola because he's been quite suspect. There are matchups all over the pitch for both City and Liverpool. Liverpool are strong in attack. Nunes again scored for Uruguay over the last break. I think he scored twice. He scored in both games. Meanwhile, Uruguay are really flying under Bielsa. Again, that man is just something else. Yeah. So, in terms of matchups, I think Liverpool have edges all over the pitch, but City, we know who they are well drilled. They know what they want to do, and they do it carried out 100%. There's a reason they've been dominant for a few years now, and I think those reasons will still show against Liverpool.
Chioma, Haaland, Julian Alvarez against Virgil van Dijk and Canote. Who do you think is going to come up tops on this one?
I mean, for me, I'm so sorry, Haaland. He's not such a threat if you know how to push his buttons. More like, I think he buzzes when his source is open. Okay, so if I think Van Dijk should be busy. Van Dijk needs to find his supply. And if we're going to be playing Alvarez, Haaland, then Van Dijk needs to...
Foden has been playing as well.
Exactly. So these guys, Alvarez, Foden, probably they always try to make him look good. So I think Virgil should do what he's been doing. I mean, what he's paid to do. With Haaland, I'm not really fussing about Haaland. Rather, I'll be thinking about Alvarez because
but that young dude, he comes up. He's not. He can score from outside the box. He can score free kicks,
exactly.
And so he really cannot.
Exactly.
Yeah, I also think Van Dijk and Canote to come on tops on this one. But when you throw Foden in the mix behind somehow, behind the limelight behind the Haaland and Alvarez, then it becomes an interesting mix right there for Liverpool to handle. Considering the fact that Liverpool don't have an established six that protects their defense. Soberslai, McAllister, these are not six, and most of the time, Klopp find it difficult to go with Endo. So if that's the situation right there, it's going to be a very tricky one for Liverpool. And this is a place, the only place I know Pep is going to really try to explore against Liverpool. That whole in front of Liverpool defense is going to be a very big problem for them to cope with. Because when you throw Alvarez and Foden behind Haaland, it becomes tricky for Van Dijk and Canote to handle. I don't know what you think, Ubu, about this one.
I think you're correct. Canote, I don't know what's missing with is Konate.
Konate,
yes.
Yes, Konate.
There's just something missing there for that young
Sometimes
man.
he's on top of the world. All of a sudden,
yeah, he's quite inconsistent. He just goes up and on, up. Yeah, so
injuries.
Because of that, I can't really depend on him until he shows a definite, consistent level of performance. You can see that there's a defender there, a top-class defender for that matter. He has the physical attributes, has the speed, has the technique, but just goes to sleep. And if you go to sleep, against Haaland, either of them, Alvarez or Haaland, they'll punish you. And I can see that happening.
Okay, we'll see. Are we able to do a combo on this one?
You mean combo of
11? It's going to be interesting.
The timing is, I don't know whether we'll have the time to get that.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you guys like have identified advantages for for both teams. The other thing I think City has ahead of Liverpool will be their bench. I don't think Liverpool has enough firepower in the defense, especially defensively, to cope with what happens if there are injuries or incidents, or the game tightens up, or they have a slim lead and want to protect it. I don't know if they have enough defensively to defend or protect their lead if they take anyone. City, on the other hand, have numbers, on the bench. Somebody was saying the last time we were talking, if you guys remember, that City at some point this season had 500 million worth of players sitting on the bench. If Doku doesn't work, Pep has the luxury of bringing in what's his name, Grealish, or deploying Foden in the wings and playing Silva a little bit forward. So there's a whole lot of option for Pep to call upon if things get bad. While on the other hand, apart from Thiago Jota and maybe Gakpo, club doesn't really have options. So yeah, so our viewers, that's that for this weekend. We have 3 very important games for the league this weekend, especially Liverpool going away to City. We know Klopp was complaining about this fixture. It was coming too early for his team after the international break, considering that most of his players are international players who would have traveled to the various continents, especially the ones from South America. So it's going to be difficult for them to recover and also travel to City for this game. But we're going to find out by Sunday if that affected Liverpool or not. The game is on Saturday, of course, the first game of the weekend. By the end of the weekend, we will know which of these teams will be on top of the table, or will it end on a draw and Arsenal take advantage and go top of the table this season. So it's going to be an interesting weekend for EPL. I think it's going to be an engaging one for any EPL fan, because there are so many games that are very important and are going to matter in terms of the standings on the league at the top end of the league. Guys, thank you for stopping by. We'll talk to our viewers. Don't forget to let us know what you think about this discussions, a combination of 11s, who you think is going to win your predictions. And as well, don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe if you have not done so yet. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. If you have been on this channel and you've been enjoying the show without forgetting to subscribe, please, we beg you to go ahead and hit the subscription button right now and let us know what you think about our conversations on this one. Ugu, thank you very much. And I don't know if you have anything for our fans, Chioma, before we go.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us as usual. Please share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies. Enjoy. For those of you in the United States, enjoy your Thanksgiving. For those outside the United States, be thankful as well.
Chioma.
Thank you. Thank you, Boom. Thank you, Reggie, for having me. And salute to our viewers. Remember to subscribe. We're doing good work here. Happy Thanksgiving to the Americans.
Thank you very much, Chioma. Thank you. Guys, don't forget, by our next edition, we didn't have time today. We're going to talk about the happenings in EPL, especially the revelations with regards to cheating and financial fair play, deduction of points from Everton, and possibility of deducting points from City, Chelsea. Now we're talking about Tottenham as well, which means City might end up being stripped of the titles that they have won, Chelsea as well. So these are developing stories in English football this week. I will look at them, by the time we're talking about the games, how the games panned out this week. We didn't have time to look at those issues today. So keep an eye on that and watch out to hear our views and what we think about those situations and what we think the FA should do to these teams. Thank you very much. And it's time to go. And we say ciao.